Jacob
John Travolta.
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
So
His
let's
name-
talk about V8 swapping Cybertruck.
V8 swapping a Cybertruck. I mean, here's the thing: is you'd have to rip out all the interior components because you rip it to do that. You would have to because there's no exhaust on it. You know what I mean? So you would have to.
You could play one in the background. Just download the latest software.
You just want no. If you wanted to V8 swap a Cybertruck, you would literally have to. You'd literally just have to fucking find a V8 somewhere and just you're better off just taking the shell of the Cybertruck and making it look like that.
I guess so. Yeah, you could get the show. Yeah, it looks like you're live on my end.
Okay. All right. Cool. What about Twitch? Twitch should be good.
I think we're live.
We're live.
No, nice, beautiful Sunday afternoon.
Afternoon. It's
Morning.
10:30.
April 27th. You know.
April 27th. So today, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? There's a lot going on in the climate. There's a lot going on in politics. What's your stance?
Oh, what's my stance?
What's your stance on?
My hair is
Okay.
a mess.
Do you think?
Oh God.
That non-citizens should get due process?
Oh God, bro, why are we starting here?
Well, the other thing I'm on.
God, that's a lot of pressure.
So,
what? So you just hit me with the fucking.
No, I hit you with something worse.
Oh God!
Next time you let me talk about what I want. And let's leave our political aspects out of it. Let's just focus on constitutional and humane rights. Let's put it like that. Constitutional and humane rights.
Okay.
Do you think that...
Let's pull up the Constitution real quick.
Okay.
United States of America.
Constitutionally speaking...
Hold up. United States
if you are
of
not
America.
a citizen, you do not get due process.
United States of America. What are we looking up?
I don't know what you're looking up. You said you're going to look something up.
Constitution, PDF, word for word, bar for bar.
Bar for bar. What's here?
America was actually the name of the person that just like drew the map of the United States of America at the time. I think it was just the colonies or the people that founded the country. They were just cartographer named America. Did you know that the first like military base in the Western Hemisphere was named? What was it named? Navidad.
The fuck kind of sounds are you making over there?
I'm trying to find the Constitution.
No, not you, Pierce. Huh. The Constitution.
All right. Here we are.
So for what the Constitution says, you have to be a United States citizen to get due process.
Oh,
so
let me control F. Hold up.
Okay, go ahead. I'll wait for you.
How do you spell due?
D-U-E.
Oh wow! It's funny how one of the examples in the search bar for the for the Constitution is already due process.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they're already listening to us. That's why we have to be careful about what we say here.
If the government was going to arrest people off of what they said, I'd have been arrested a long, long time ago.
Wasn't that what they're doing now?
No.
Yes, that's what I heard. God
Where?
damn, how many? All right,
Where are they doing that? You mean the UK?
No, which due process are we doing? Article 14, Amendment 14, Amendment 5. Amendment...
Makes no difference because at the end of the day, due process is only granted to United States citizens.
No, let's see. Okay, here. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What was the question again? Where do we go?
Do you think that if you are not a United States citizen, you deserve due process?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're a person, and where is the process? Is it in the U.S.? Is it in Mexico? Is it in
Anywhere.
South America,
Do you
anywhere in
think
the
that you-
world.
Do you think that you
Yeah,
deserve?
due process should be a liberty for people, a regular part of
So,
life.
so due process for each and every country across the entire world. You are not guaranteed rights unless you are a citizen of that country. So do you think I should be able to go over to France and commit a murder and then be like, okay, well, you're going to go on trial for this, that, and the other? Or do you think they should be able to be like,
Well,
you're fucking,
don't they do that already though? Because what happened when ASAP Rocky got arrested in Sweden? Didn't he have due
he
process
didn't
in
have
that
due
country?
process. He was actually locked in jail for a long fucking time, way longer than any citizen would have been.
Why was he in court though? Why did he have court hearings?
He had court hearings, but his due process was not under. The due process took longer than their constitution says that, because they have kind of the
But
same.
he had due process then.
But he didn't have due process because under their
But
constitution,
you just said his due process was longer.
they don't have the same. So for them, they have kind of the same idea that we do of due process is considered you have to have your court hearing by this time frame. That's your due process.
Is that what the definition of due process is? You just have a certain amount of
due process is the process which is due to convict you, right? That's kind of what it means.
But so he did have due process, is what you're saying.
No, they did not follow the same process that they do for everybody else.
But the end fact that he was having due process is already due process in itself, no?
No, because the due process was not followed. Just because you follow.
So if it breaks that time. So say the due process, for example, takes 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
If it's longer than a week, then there's no more due process.
They're not following their due process for that country. I mean, if you talk about, there's due process for everything. In that case, when we kick somebody out or when any other country kicks somebody out, they had their due process of, oh, well, we looked at it and saw that you were not a citizen of the United States, so we kicked you out. There's your due process. If you get into that kind of definition, then yes, everybody gets due process. But if you want to follow the constitutional rights that you're given as a citizen of all these other countries, it comes down to the fact of, where'd you go?
Damn, they're already hacking my shit. You see, this is why we better be careful. Recording track created. Are we good?
What the fuck? Derek's recording will.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, my thing just cut out for some reason.
Okay, you good?
Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
We're good. Okay.
So your yes, if you break it down to the simple fact of, is there a process that you're quote unquote due? Yeah, sure. I mean, if you get if they line you up and shoot you outside and execute you in public, that's a due process. It's illegal. It's not what we do in the country anymore. But technically, yes, that would be due process. When I say, do non-citizens deserve the due process, what I'm talking about is, do they deserve the process that is given to the United States citizens or to the French citizens or to any of the European country citizens? So, perfect example. Obviously, we don't want to be like Russia, but they just did this. Brittany Griner, who was just arrested and thrown in jail for bringing weed across the border, super illegal. They held her in jail for a long fucking time because of it.
Yeah. What was that other person? Andrew Tate?
The serviceman? Yeah, I don't remember his name. But he same kind of thing. Is he went over there. He didn't even do anything wrong, but they said that he was a spy, and they kept him for years.
Can you still see me?
You're frozen. I can hear you. There's something going on with your camera.
Yeah. Here, let me reset it.
Okay.
It's up and running. I don't know why it's disconnecting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
You good?
Yep. As long as you can see me and hear me, I think we're good.
Yeah.
If it does cut out again, let me know.
Okay. But yeah, so if you're talking about the bare minimum of, do you have to have a sentencing, quote unquote, then sure, yeah, everybody gets due process. But prime example is this guy that just got sent back over to where are they? Argentina?
El Salvador?
Salvador, that's what it was.
Chicote.
They sent him to El Salvador. If you read if you pull up his history in the United States, he has gang affiliation. He has, um, he's been processed. He's already gotten quote unquote his due process as if he was an American citizen, and people are still mad saying he didn't get due process and he got deported.
Mm.
So it comes down for me. It comes down to.
God damn it, bro! This thing keeps freaking.
Oh,
All right,
yeah,
let's roll with it. It's gonna come back on for some reason. I don't know why it keeps cutting out.
Oh, I was doing that either. That's weird. What makes America? Derek has stopped recording. Something went wrong. They're not being recorded anymore. Can you still hear me? Nope. You went out. Okay. Well. Buddy, we talked about this. You're going to have to give me a little bit. Is there something you need right now? What? I love you, buddy. All right. Well, since I don't know what's going on with Ramos' stuff. Is he back?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can't see you.
Dude, I don't know. I think this thing is maybe I really am getting hacked. Because now my whole computer's switching out. Let me close some tabs.
Okay. Says your mic and cam is already in use in another tab.
Yeah, that's why I'm starting to close some tabs, but I don't have anything open. Oh, maybe my Discord. Let me close that. Cam. Oh my God, this is so annoying. Are we live still?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see me?
Nope, I can hear you.
Fudge. Dude, what the flip? All right, I'm gonna leave, and then I will be right back.
Okay. So something else we were going to talk about today, well, he tries to figure that out, is the whole collections thing, because I know a lot of people are freaking out about that. So what has happened is now the Trump administration has come out and said that they're going to start sending, if you're not paying your college bills, that they're going to send you to collections, okay? Which has always been a thing since the beginning of time, basically. Oh, there we go. Now I got you.
You got me? All good?
Yep.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we're still. Yep, been recording the whole time.
Okay.
So I was just kind of
it's
talking
overrun.
about. I was just kind of talking about the collections thing that's going on. So basically, what had happened all the way up until the COVID thing hit. Piercy, hey, I need you to be quiet, buddy. Until the COVID thing hit was just like any other loan, just like anything else that you take out. If you don't pay it, you get sent to collections.
Wait, what happened with the due process?
You fucking need some due process on your goddamn computer is what needs to happen.
Due process, bro. I was just about to say that. It says here that it comes down to the states to decide. So that's why I was like reading on it.
Pierce. It comes down to the states to decide on what.
That's what
who gets their due process and who doesn't.
Focus on the
Pierce Andrew. Do you need to go in your room?
It says due process requirements on actions by state governments. However, it's important to note that the federal rules, the civil procedure, give federal district courts power to assert personal jurisdiction over the defendant. At the same time, extent the state court and state where the federal court is the same limits on personal jurisdiction generally apply to federal courts. Maybe not. Still very interesting to say. Oh my God, brother.
I don't know what's going on with your shit today.
Just let me. Oh, maybe. No, my outlet is connected properly. I closed tabs. I think everything should be good. Let me close a few more tabs. I don't think I need these right now.
So this kind of breaks it down to kind of what I was saying. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The Fifth Amendment states that no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be witnessed against himself, nor deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
That's the Fifth Amendment?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see.
And now I'm looking at the 14th right now. Yeah, I think it's a state thing because in the 14th Amendment it says, "Nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process law."
In most cases,
federal.
illegal immigrants are not granted hearing due to expedited removal,
Mm-hmm.
which was the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility of 1996.
Yeah. Yeah.
And somebody...
I see what
there's
you're
an
saying.
argument in court that says just because you see a judge doesn't mean you're receiving due process.
Okay.
So an argument that's happening right now is they're saying that just because somebody comes in, because everybody's getting seen. So everybody is getting seen that says, hey, nope, you're done, or nope, you're in, whatever the situation. But the argument is that that's not due process.
Okay.
But by the definition, it is. Because they're not made... by the definition, that in a sense that is, in the same sense that we were talking about, that yes, everything's due process if you take it down to the bare minimum.
Excuse me. So, okay. Cool. Interesting.
Most deportation proceedings are civil, not criminal cases, so the legal counsel does not apply. So in criminal cases, by definition, if you are in a criminal case, you have to have the right to an attorney. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Civil cases, you do not have the right to an attorney. So the state does not have to provide you an attorney in civil cases. And immigration is considered a civil suit. So there's a lot of things that are intertwined that if you read the fine print, it is what it is.
Interesting. So many little things and little loopholes, and
there's a lot of little loopholes. Yeah. Ultimately, my opinion, if you're not a citizen, if you are in a country illegally, if I were to go to Germany, if I were to go to Africa, if I were to go to any of these places and I commit crimes, every one of those places is either A, allowed to throw me in prison until they see fit. They have I'm not protected under anything, or they can immediately deport me back to the United States.
Interesting. Yeah.
So right now, the United States is the country with the most open border policies. Even now, when everybody's like, "Oh, we're horrible," this, that, and the other, we have the most open border policy of almost any country in the entire world. Japan, if you go to Japan illegally, they can throw you in prison for as long as they want and make you work in camps, and he's gone. Well, I don't know what's going on with this shit.
Bro, this thing is so annoying.
I don't know what's going on with your shit. Are you on like a different computer than you usually use, or what? And is he gone? Oh,
it's like just twitching. I'm just not even gonna touch it.
Weird. I wonder what's going on with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear how much people.
What are the downsides of having due process for everybody? What are the pros and cons?
Okay, pros of having due process for everybody.
Oh my god, dude!
Pros of having due process for everybody.
Can you still see me right now?
Yeah, I can see you now. You keep cutting in and out though.
Am I being recorded? Because my thing says you're not being recorded.
I don't know. You're on the live.
I'm on a live. I'm not gonna touch it because it says let's troubleshoot, so it might kick me out again. If it's running like this, I might just like leave it and not touch it.
Okay.
Can people on the live see me? Or let me check the live on my
phone. So pros of giving everybody due process, okay? Citizen or non-citizen. Pretty much basically everybody gets a fair shot, okay?
Uh-huh.
Everybody gets the rights as the United States citizen would, okay? Which is great. Cool. Cons. Taxpayer dollars are coming out. Cons. What's so special about being an American citizen if everybody can just come over here and get the rights? Cons. We have no kind of security if we don't do some kind of, if we don't have some kind of process of weeding out who gets certain rights and who doesn't. Because if everybody comes over here and just gets everything that they want, then why, A, why are we giving so much money out? B, what's so good about being an American citizen? Why don't I just renounce my citizenship, go somewhere else for a month, come back? Now I don't have to pay as many taxes. Now I don't have to do as much stuff that the American citizen would.
Interesting.
Once you start taking away the perks of being a citizen, what's the point of being one?
What's the point of being a citizen? Yeah.
If I were to go to, well, what's a good example? I forget what country. It is. Oh, Sweden. Like one of those up there. Sweden, Norway, Greenland, whatever. Cold area. Okay.
One of the Nordic countries, yeah.
If you go there and you become a citizen of that area, as a male, I believe you get, I think it's like $40,000 a year to go up there, build a house, and start a family. And that does not include your job. That's just what's given to you because they need to. I
don't think that's true.
100%.
I will look that up. Look that up. I think maybe Italy's doing that, but I don't think Sweden always do that. Look it up. Yeah, let me know.
Country.
I'm pretty sure Italy would do that for old farmhouses and stuff like that. Well, I don't think Norway does.
Money to become a citizen and build. Let's see. Certain countries. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, so all of these countries give incentives to becoming citizens. Armenia, Latvia, Malta, Ireland.
Ireland.
Huh?
Oh, I was just saying Ireland.
Ireland. Grenada, St. Lucia, Antigua, and Barbuda.
Somebody Taiwan, New Zealand. The other day that in Ireland they speak Irish and not Gaelic.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I think Gaelic is more of a traditional language.
But
sorry. So
Asia and the South Pacific, Taiwan, New Zealand, Vanuatu, Israel, Latin America, Ecuador, Mexico, and Brazil.
Okay, so
no all of these countries.
No Sweden. No Denmark.
No.
Okay.
Maybe I was thinking New Zealand. That kind of sounds like Sweden.
Yeah. Okay. Let's use one of those as an example. New Zealand.
So let's see. It doesn't let me pull up New Zealand specifically.
I'm going to New Zealand, living near Milford Sound. Yes. New Zealand actually has really good wine country. Fun fact.
Does it?
Yeah, because of one side of the island has a lot of mountains, so it blocks a lot of the wind coming in, and it creates like nice fertile flat land on the other, like north end of the island, I think. And it's very popular for wines.
So all those countries have basically have incentives. I'd have to go into each one of them, but they all have incentives to become citizens there. Okay. So there's perks of being a citizen there that
Mhm.
people that visit there won't get, or if I were to go there illegally, I wouldn't get it. So
Okay.
it makes it more appealing. Just
Yeah.
like the United States, as a United States citizen, we get certain things.
Mhm.
If you take away those perks of being a United States citizen, then
Mhm.
why be a citizen?
Yeah.
Like Russia doesn't get any perks for being a Russian citizen. I
Yeah.
think nobody wants to fucking go there. It's cold. Nobody likes it there.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the cons significantly outweigh the pros, in my opinion. Does everybody get a fair shot? Sure. Does everybody deserve a fair shot? No.
Hmm.
If you want a country to be successful, you have to be able to be like, in my opinion, you got to be able to be like, no.
You don't think everybody deserves a fair shot? Why do you think that?
I think if you want a fair shot, become a United States citizen or come here on a work
Okay.
visa.
So I'm okay. I think my question, I took it as you meant it generally, like nobody like should get a fair shot, or like
I
most
think that everybody should start.
in a neutral case, not in like any citizenship, not in any country, just a neutral case.
So if everybody gets put on an island that has no citizenship,
Yeah,
everybody
everybody should get a fair
country
shot. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
But we're not
So
on an island
yeah,
that doesn't have any
when
citizenship.
you're
We're on
coming
an
down to
island
like
that has
citizenships and rights for citizen, you don't
right.
think you think that
So
non-citizen should not. Yeah.
does somebody that's moving here have to work harder? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely they do. And that is it hard on them? Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure. I'm sure it's tough as shit to come here and get a
So
I probably couldn't pass the damn citizenship test that people have to take. I'll be the first to admit that. So, is it hard? Absolutely.
So
Is it
what about in this case? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there,
no,
but
you're
I'm interested in this question. What about the people that do come here legally and are working towards their citizenship, but don't have that citizen title yet? Do they get due process if they're doing it
yes.
legally? Because
So
they're not
they're
a
out here on
citizen.
work visas. They're here legally on a work visa, on a college visa. There's visas for this stuff. So when I went over to Kuwait, I had to get a work visa.
Yeah,
And
but
if
that's
I
not
would
a
have been there,
citizenship though.
what?
That's not a citizenship though, is it?
No, but I would get, I
So
would be,
then,
but
what about
I
your
was there
argument?
for, and here's the thing is, if I got in trouble over there, I would have immediately been deported. It doesn't matter it has no,
So you're not getting due process.
I wouldn't if I went to Kuwait.
Yeah,
In
so
Kuwait, no, I wouldn't have. In the United States, yes, you do.
you get due process. So we give due process to non-citizens here.
But not illegals.
But that's still a non-citizen. I'm going into the argument of like the citizenship title.
So, but you're here legally.
But
So you
earlier you said though that we're giving due rights or due process to citizens only.
it's,
But
okay.
right now
Yes.
we're saying
So
we're giving
it
due
also
process
breaks
to
down
non-citizens.
to what you consider due process, and it also at the end of the day, do
Mhm.
they get it? Yes. But do they have the right? Not necessarily, because
It's just
a
that they're on
civil.
that track to get citizenship.
Right. So they're more lenient with the people that are here legally, I believe. I could be from what I've seen, the leniency for people on work visas or green cards is a lot more than somebody that's just straight illegal. So if somebody here on a green card, okay,
Mhm.
they get in trouble, let's say they do something like shoplifting or they get caught possession, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
That might be something that's swept under the rug. That's like, hey, not a big deal. Okay, don't do that shit again.
Okay.
Let's just say.
Mhm.
Now somebody that's an illegal citizen, you don't have the right to what? Due process? Theoretically, no. Mom commented.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah, I think I can see.
a perfect example is if you would have gotten in trouble, you could have gotten deported. We've had this discussion multiple times that if you would have done something wrong, you would have gotten you and your whole family deported. So,
I think it's
prime
an interesting
example.
wording because in the Constitution itself, I was reading it, and it says citizenship, right? Citizens do.
Yep.
But I feel like if you're the title of citizenship is like a tricky thing because there are people that are legally trying to become citizens.
Yes. So there's people that are that are actively
But
trying
they're
to become
yeah.
citizens.
But during
Absolutely.
that time, they're not citizens.
Yep.
So I mean, I feel like they should
They
personally.
should. Okay.
Maybe due
So
process is a yeah.
so in, like I was saying, in Kuwait, if
Mhm,
I would have gotten caught with alcohol, just caught with it,
mhm,
immediate deportation, sent back
mhm.
to the United States, no questions asked.
Yeah.
I would have actually. I think we had a guy that got caught before I got there. He spent 3 months in a Kuwaiti prison and then
Mhm.
got deported because he was caught with alcohol.
Huh. Interesting.
Not fighting, not doing anything bad, but alcohol is illegal in Kuwait. Was thrown in prison for 3 months and then deported. Uh,
Ooh, that's interesting.
you pay taxes and you're legal, so you should have those rights. You're also married to a United States citizen, so you fall under the United States citizenship. That's one of the perks of marrying a United States citizen. Why do you think so many people did it for so many years? So you have those rights because you are married to a United States citizen. And you pay taxes because you're married to a United States citizen and because you want to do the things, but you have never gotten your citizenship because you choose not to. That is your choice. You are here under a green card, but you have some of the perks because you are married to a United States citizen.
Hmm.
If you wanted citizenship, you have that opportunity. Go take the test. You don't want to take the test, then you don't get the choice. You don't get the perks of being a complete United States citizen. That's your choice. You've been here for fucking 30 years. Your call. Nobody else's. So you can't blame anybody but yourself if you get deported at this point.
What's the point of taking the United States citizenship at that point? If you're here 30 years, I don't think you should take the test. You should just
You're here 30 years, but at the end of the day, you're not a United States citizen, so you don't get all
what's
the perks.
so you before stated that you couldn't pass the citizenship test.
Yep.
So
One
what
of the
would be
perks
the
of being
point of
born a United States citizen. You don't have to
but,
pay.
or,
And by the way,
but
if
30
you join the
years is a
United
long
States
time though.
military, if you join the United States military, you do not have to take the citizenship test. All you have to do is pass basic training and then go apply, and you get your citizenship.
That's a cool thing. That's interesting.
There's so many ways to go about getting your citizenship that there's no excuse to not do it if you've been here for 30 years and then complain and say you should get your due process. It is
I
your
feel
choice
like
at this point.
I feel like you should get your citizenship though. After 30 years, that's a long time. That's
But
like
you're
pretty
not,
much getting rank for just being time in service.
but you don't get ranked for time in service after a certain point. You have to
After
get
a certain point. After a certain point. I mean, like, what points are there in between not citizen and citizen?
you at this
30 years is 30 years.
30 years is
That's a
30
long
years.
time.
So you mean to tell me that in 30 years you've had all these different ways? And actually, I believe she's considered a United States citizen due to being married to a United States citizen. I don't know all of the arguments for that.
I
But I
think
believe
you still have to take the test
I
because
don't know. Yeah, I don't know all of the ins and outs of that.
my mom was a citizen, and then my dad got it. Actually, no, he took the test too. So I think you still have to take the test.
So you have to apply for citizenship and be a green card holder to join the military, but you did not have to take the citizenship test, correct?
39, even more, dude. Just give
But at the
the
end of the
citizen
day,
30
you've been here 39 years. Why have you not figured out a reason? It is your choice at this point. It's your choice to not be a
and
citizen.
paying taxes. That's like a double thing right there. Taxes and the test. I mean, taxes and time in the U.S.
Then why not do the one extra step?
Why
You've
do
been
it?
doing it.
Imagine somebody telling you you have to take a test to become a citizen after being here 39 years, paying taxes. I tell them to go.
That's part of being a United States citizen. You have to do it. If I was born in Germany and then 10 minutes later we moved to America, if I was born across the border and then we moved, if I was born in Canada, okay, to obviously my mom, and then moved back across 10 minutes later, I was just born in a Canadian hospital. I'm not an American citizen.
I don't know. I feel like you could easily submit an argument for why you should.
I mean, you can submit arguments all day, but at the end of the day, after 40 years,
she also has tons of volunteer service.
Hey, what, buddy? I understand your iPad's dead. Go watch TV or something. Give me just a little bit longer, okay? What, bud? Okay, well, I'm doing something right now. Go watch TV for just a little bit, okay? All right, love you, bud. 40 years. You're doing all of. I would not be a United States citizen. Okay, depending on if your dad is a United States citizen, yes or no. If she just gave birth to me, let's say we didn't know who the dad was. Okay, obviously we all know who my dad is. Just hypothetically speaking, if she didn't know who the father was and I was just born to her, there was no father on the birth certificate, and she is a Canadian citizen, not a United States citizen. I was born in a Canadian hospital. I would be Canadian. Right. That's what I'm saying is if we did, my dad is a citizen. Yes. 100%. So that would make me a citizen. But like I said, if it was just my mom, my dad wasn't on the birth certificate, nothing, and I was born in Canada, I'd be a Canadian citizen. And that's great. Volunteer work and everything. She's doing all the things that an American should do. Absolutely. That's awesome. Why not take the extra step?
Why take the extra step?
Because then you get the few extra perks. Then she can vote. I don't vote. I don't give a shit to vote. But that's a perk that people like of being a United States citizen. If you're not a citizen, she can't vote. Been here 40 years, can't vote.
Yeah.
She probably knows more American politics than a lot of Americans today. But she doesn't want to take that extra step, and that's her choice. Nobody's saying, hey, you have to go take this test. But if you're not going to take the test, then you're going to live under this umbrella of you're not a citizen. And that's just the way it works. If we just gave everybody citizenship without any kind of anything, then why have borders? Why be America? Why not just be
but I mean,
United Lands?
In the case of your mom, that there should be at least a special category for people that have been here way longer than they should be without being citizen.
I mean, I could agree with that. I think that there should be a time frame of she fell in a window where there was no. Yeah, and I believe that nowadays there are expirations. I think that there should be. If you're going to be living in the United States for that amount of time, do what it takes to be a citizen. Or renew your stuff every year. And that kind of gives the incentive to push, hey, either be a citizen or don't. But either way, you're going to have to take this time to do this stuff. Because you have to reapply. If I would have stayed in Kuwait another year, I would have had to reapply for another work visa.
Yeah.
The same kind of thing is now, if you're staying in the United States, you have to apply for visas, I think yearly. I could be wrong on that. And there's obviously exceptions to different things. College visas work different than work visas and that kind of stuff. It ultimately, yeah, like she said, it's her responsibility. That's what it comes down to. But nobody's forcing her to go do it. It's just you don't get the extra liberties of citizens. And like I said, 40 years later, at that point, you're set in your ways. You know what you want and you know what you don't want. If you don't want the perks of being a citizen, then don't take the test. That's fine, whatever. But now you can't. Now you can't. You know what I mean? Now you can't vote. Now you can't. I don't know how true it is.
Do you have due process?
Huh?
Do you have due process at that point?
It depends. It's up to them. That's the thing is it's up, like you said, it's up to the state. What do you consider due process?
Yeah, it's up to the state, I guess.
If she goes out and robs somebody and they're like, we're going to deport you. Sorry. Well, you didn't. You're done. Get out. That's the reality of not being a United States citizen. And that does it suck? You've been here 40 years. You've spent your entire life here, basically. You've got your family here. You've got your work here, your friends here. Yeah, absolutely.
That's an interesting case. Huh. Citizenship is a funny thing.
It is a funny thing. It's weird and it's confusing. But if I wanted to be a Kuwaiti citizen, I would have had. It's actually very, very hard to be a Kuwaiti citizen.
I feel like it's hard to be a citizen anywhere.
Yeah. And I feel like America gets attacked a lot saying that our citizenship laws are strict and this, that, and the other. But our citizenship is very loose, and the way you can get your citizenship is a lot easier than most countries. Be legal to live to all required tasks, let alone pay $1,000. Right, that's what I'm saying. If you break the law, then yes, you can't be. This is another thing. Is if your visa, let's say you are here on a work visa or whatever visa it is, You are then there illegally. That is breaking the law, and then therefore you can be deported.
I don't know, man. That just
And it's wonderful. If you're here and you're doing the right thing, does it mean you get the shit end of the stick? I would rather, I'll be 100% honest, I would rather some of the illegal aliens that have come here and busted their ass for years and years and years and some of the fucking crybaby motherfuckers that are citizens. 100%. But that's not what we do in America. And if we just let go of all of our laws and what we've done, then what's stopping the bad things from happening?
Interesting.
We have to have, there's certain things that you have to have in place to protect people and to make it to where America is somewhere, make it to where America is somewhere that people should want to live. And if America's so bad and the entire the entire world is like, America sucks, why do we have more illegal aliens than any other country combined?
Is that true?
1,000%. Canada's probably second.
Can you look that up? Oh, I can't use my computer right now. I'll get kicked out.
Let's see. My computer's being slow.
Yeah, I just want to see if that's true. I believe it. I just want to get like an actual confirmation. I'm trying to think of what other countries would have a lot of illegal aliens. You think Canada?
100%.
I can see Canada being up there. What else?
United States, Canada, probably UK.
Yeah, UK.
Okay, so
Is
from
Singapore up there?
I don't know. Maybe. Okay, so this is from Reddit.com. So don't.
Reddit.
This is just the first
provide
one
a
I looked
source. Okay.
I'm not quoting this source, but United States, roughly between 10.9 and 11.4 million illegal immigrants.
10.9 and 11.4. Okay.
Russia, 10 to 12 illegal immigrants.
Okay.
Interesting.
So that's more than us.
Because
ours goes what to 10 to 11.4. There goes
10.9 to 11.4. Theirs is 10 to 12.
Yeah.
So it depends.
So the okay. The standard deviation is a little different, but they have a higher.
This is also including people from Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Armenia, Moldova.
So all the like. Okay. Crimea.
India has anywhere between 1.4 to 10 million illegal immigrants. It's obviously hard to keep track of illegal immigrants. So these are very broad numbers.
Loose numbers, yeah.
Bangladesh, 500,000 to 1.2 million.
Okay, now we're just like way off. Okay. Yeah.
France, 890,000 to 1.2 million.
Okay, yeah. Now we're like 10 orders of magnitude off. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's funny that AirShot might have more than us. That's actually an interesting.
That is interesting.
Because I think earlier you said who wants to be a Russian citizen, right? And
I
now we're seeing that, I guess 12 million people do.
I would never expect that. Huh. Let's see. I'm trying to look.
You got to also think about it. The way I see it with other countries, we're really just getting our perspective of other countries' way of life.
Agreed. And it's the same thing when it comes to war. Everything's told by the winner.
Yeah. So, it's like, how do I explain it?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
you're basically
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
We're getting the American outlook. Well, most people. I do a lot of research outside of just the American news outlet. So I would like to think of myself as a more broader spectrum, but I do understand what you're saying. Most Americans just do the American news. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Russia has a great, way of life. I'm not too sure. I've never been there.
It depends.
Depends, right? It seems cold, but I mean, if you look at the major cities, I think the major cities are, I guess, appealing to some people.
Wow. These numbers are crazy. Okay, this is from worldpopulationreview.com. Okay?
Oh, that's where I'm on right now. That's where I looked up the open border policies.
Russia is said to have 12 million illegal immigrants. Okay. Then the United States at 11.4. Okay. Then India at 10.
Yep.
Bangladesh at 1.2. France at 1.2.
So it's close to the numbers you were saying before.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they were.
United
that.
Kingdom 950,000, South Africa 1 million, Malaysia 800,000, Brazil 7. Canada's only got 120,000.
It kind of makes sense though from the perspective because Canada's a little bit more isolated,
That's true.
and I think
These are
like
the
a lot of
exact same
people
numbers as the other place because now it's
Yeah.
showing me the minimum to maximum. So these are all the
Okay.
maximum numbers that I was just reading.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Interesting. I thought Canada was way worse about illegal immigrants. That's interesting.
Yeah. You could also, if you wanted to double check the open border policy thing, but
I'm pretty
when I-
sure we have one
yeah.
of the loosest,
yeah, when I looked it up, it says Singapore, but I don't know how.
had the loosest immigration laws.
Or just the highest open border index. I don't know what that means though.
It means that basically it's whoever comes in comes in.
Oh,
There's
okay.
no
Yeah,
real.
Singapore was the highest.
I mean, Singapore makes sense. They're pretty poor. It's going to be hard to get.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's just interesting to look at.
It's very interesting. I learned something new today. I guess a lot of people want to live in Russia.
That's why I asked you to double check.
That's
just to
crazy
be
to me.
100% certain. Yeah, I mean, I know. I'm not sure too much about Russian cities, but just from like videos I've seen, people really like the major Russian cities.
Yeah, but there's only like 4, and they're all to the very left. They're like in Europe.
I think that makes a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
Yeah, European countries are probably a little warmer over there. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I learned something new.
Okay, so from brilliantmaps.com, the United States has 10.5 million illegal immigrants since 2019. Can you guess which state has the most?
Which state? California.
Yeah. Can you guess which state's second? Makes
Texas.
sense. Yeah.
Third,
so
probably
California
New York.
has 1.9. Texas has 1.6.
Third is probably New York or Florida.
New York has 600,000. Florida has 900,000. That's 3 and 4.
Wait, what was it? He was our illegal pop before Biden. He just let in 15 million. What?
What was the illegal population before Biden took office? He let in 15 million.
Well, 2019 was during Biden, right? So that would be 10 point whatever million.
Well, what year did he get voted in? 2020?
Yeah, it's 2020 to 20. No, it's 2021 to 2020. Yeah, when did he get voted in?
Right?
2020 to 2024. Yeah. Or is it 21 to 25?
What?
It's I don't think that number's correct. I don't think they let in 15 million just like that.
I mean, that's what the news reports. Is he let in about 15 million?
How would that make sense if the population or the illegal population is 10.9?
Well, it's one of those things that it's hard to keep track of. That's what he's said to have let in. We've probably Biden's deportation numbers are huge too. We've deported a lot.
Yeah, I think
during the Biden administration, a lot got deported as well.
Yeah.
I think like 5.9 got deported during the Biden administration.
Biden administration deported a lot of people.
Which is crazy to me because why? Southwest border, unaccompanied alien child.
Politics.
Okay, so in 2019, Southwest border. Can they not just give me a number? The Southwest border total apprehensions were 851,508.
800. Wait, say that again. Sorry.
The apprehensions. So who got caught?
Oh,
851,508.
Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, because you also got to consider the amount of people that got caught too, which is a lot.
I can't find anything. Like a.
I mean, like you said, it's probably hard to get a solid number. The best you'll get is like a rough estimate.
Because you got to think, if they knew how many were coming in, then why aren't we just fucking apprehending them? That'd be
exactly. It's like somebody's just there, counting.
Yeah, all right, there's one. There's one.
Hey, you guys slow down a little bit.
Single file line, please.
Count off. You got to raise your arm up and then drop it after you say the number. 1.
Jesus. Oh hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Ultimately, it comes down to there's legal ways to come into the country. And if this is another thing that people are arguing right now is that they're trying to escape bad situations like gangs and that kind of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
I think if you're a refugee that needs to escape, absolutely do it. There's paperwork that you can file at the border. As soon as you get to the border, if you say I'm a political refugee, I'm this kind of refugee, I'm that kind of refugee, they will let you in. Just do it legally, and you don't have to worry about getting deported.
Refugee. Yeah, it's hard to really like understand where they're coming from without just going there and just asking them, Because I'm wondering if everybody knows that. I wonder if
they don't, and that's what I was about to say. Is I think it's a lack of knowing how many programs and how much we are willing to do to help.
And I personally can't blame them because they're coming from a place that they probably don't have internet or access to information like that.
Yeah. But here's another thing: is
I wonder, do they like? How do I say promote that or advertise it? Like, hey, do they have like a huge poster or like billboards that say, "Hey"? Just,
well, here's the thing: is we've got to stop as Americans. We've got to stop promoting coming here illegally.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to stop.
Is it promoted coming in here illegally?
Absolutely. Do you not see how
So what is do you have an example for me?
So right now a political side is saying that it's wrong for us to deport, it's wrong for us to do this. And here's another argument. Why are we arguing to keep these people illegal? Okay. If they're illegal, they don't get workmen's rights. Why do we want to continue to ostracize them to make their whole argument is, right? Not their whole argument, but a big part of their argument is who's going to do the cheap labor? For one, why are we forcing people to do cheap labor? Why not have them become citizens and fall under the workmen's rights and get paid normal? These people are out here working. They're illegal in the United States and they don't get proper pay. They don't fall under the minimum wage because they can't go to OSHA or they can't go to the Better Business Bureau and be like, hey, they're not paying me. Well, sir.
Isn't it hard to get like those kind of stuff though, because they don't want to pay either?
Okay. This is how I look at it. You've got a kid coming up to you straight out of high school and he's like, hey dude, I'll come work for you. You give me $10 an hour. I'll do everything and he's a way better worker. He's a way better worker than the 70-year-old you got standing over there. The 70-year-old is going to be like, you have to pay me $25 an hour. And then this kid from high school is like, you can only pay me $10 an hour. I'm going to pay that fucking kid $10 an hour. Right?
Okay.
Would you not? You'd rather pay the old slow guy that doesn't do as good at work?
Okay, if he doesn't do good at work, then yeah, maybe.
$15 more an hour?
You got to think about quality too. Quality too. There's obviously more potential with the young guy. Yeah, I get where you're coming from for sure. Yeah.
So as long as that's continuing to happen, yes, these corporations are going to continue to pay the lesser amount for harder work. So it comes down to why not have these guys. And this is why I think building a wall or building something to funnel. Because I don't think that these people are getting the information. I think that they're coming here and they're like, I have to break in here and live here illegally or I'm not going to be able to live here.
But building a wall.
I don't know if a wall
I don't know if a wall is the best idea.
We've got to figure out a way to funnel. Okay? Because
if they were to build the wall, is it through like taxpayers' money? How would they fund that?
So it's I believe during his first term, Trump actually got the Mexican government to agree to pay half the wall. And then, yes, the rest would be coming out of taxpayer money.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not saying the wall is the necessarily right answer, but the concept is what I think is right. Right now, in the midst of all these illegal aliens that are coming, you've got cartels, you've got terrorists, is it every one of them? No. But 1 out of 500, 1 out of 100 whatever the number is, if we had a way to funnel these illegal aliens into a nice whatever, like, hey, come through here, we'll get your paperwork set up, we'll get what you need so you can get on a work visa, we'll help you out, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now these terrorists or cartels or whatever it is can't peddle drugs, they can't do shit that they're not supposed to. And now they're in our system, okay? And that's another good thing, is a lot of these illegal aliens are coming into the United States and they're not in our system, okay? So if they do a crime, or if their let's just say hypothetically, an illegal alien came up and he shot somebody, and then he left the gun there, okay? There is no way for us to take that gun, have fingerprints, and know who it was. So now that murder goes unsolved. Hi, buddy. Give me 15 more minutes, okay?
Daddy,
What?
why didn't I charge my iPad?
Because the laptop's charging right now. I'll charge your iPad right after, okay? All right. I'll be right out, okay? Give me 15 minutes, okay?
I just want to watch you.
You just want to watch? Okay, we'll hop up there, but you got to be quiet, okay? So, it comes down to, in my opinion, we need a way to channel, we need a way to keep up with, we need a way to
Interesting.
basically do what we need to do. Nanny said, I love you.
Oh.
He's playing with the dog. So I think that that's another good thing too. Do I think that every illegal immigrant's going to come out here and shoot people? No, that'd be stupid to think. That's idiotic to think. But do I think they need to be under the same? And if they want due process, follow the law. Do what you need to do.
Interesting.
And then you'll get the due process. Mimi said, love you.
I love you.
You heard him. Ultimately, it comes down to we need a way to keep track of. We need a way to help these people. I think.
Yeah.
Help them. Help them the right way. Don't let them come in here and get taken advantage of.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about.
You're frozen again.
I know my camera is like just. I don't know what's up with the PC today.
All right. Well, how about this? How about we call it for today? You figure out what the hell is going on with your shit, and we'll get back to it next week. I think we had a good conversation, interesting conversation.
Interesting, very interesting. Lots to think about.
Yeah.
Lots to read up on, as is everything else.
Next week we'll talk about the whole collections thing. I'll give you a week to read up on it.
Do you not agree, Ramos? Do you not agree with Ramos?
I think she's asking, do you not agree that we should kind of have a way of tracking?
Oh, a way of tracking?
Or some, like how I was saying is,
I was trying to think of a way to do it differently than build a wall. That's what
I just don't see another way.
Part
if
of
another
me,
way was presented, I'd be fine with it.
Part of me is thinking like eagle eye sort of thing, you know, with like
just fly UAVs all day.
Yeah, like AI and things like that. But then I'm like, no, I do not want to see that happening.
I think that'd be worse.
That'd be terrible. Yeah. It's just complicated.
I don't have a good way to do it, but I think that funneling them would be the best way to not only help them, but help the United States.
You seem like you don't agree with this. I'm just thinking. I think there's multiple solutions to a problem. It's just trying to find one that produces the highest yield of success. Yeah.
Ultimately, I think funneling and keeping track of would be the best way for everybody. Would it increase our consumer spending? Yes. It would increase our spending significantly because then we wouldn't get the cheap labor. But honestly, I'd be fine spending more knowing that people weren't getting taken advantage of. Right now, I know how much the fucking Nike shoes cost to make. It cost 4 cents, and some dude in a sweatshop.
Dude, everything is
made that.
so expensive. I can't take it anymore. You go to the store to buy one thing, dude, you're leaving there spending hundreds of dollars.
That's what I'm saying. Is that shit's
So
insane?
annoying.
Why are we spending so much money when we're spending so little? Like, I'm cool if the cost is $100.
Dude, yeah, that's the issue with like building the wall. Then what am I gonna do? Pay to build the wall? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing: is all the money that the Doge just found, fucking put that to the wall or something. I don't know. Don't
They
increase my
should put that
taxes.
to
I'll tell you that.
fix my roads.
They ain't never gonna fix your roads. That's a state issue. Goes to the Department of Transportation, which
Give
is a
the
state
money
issue.
to the
Which
states. Build the roads.
vote for your Congress to be better. Your state representatives. That's where your vote matters most. Is your state representatives.
State reps.
Yep.
I don't know, dude. What's the point? That's a long ass wall to build too.
Yep. Sure is.
Maybe we should start a private company and where we specialize in building walls and they can hire us.
Right.
No,
We'll be doing the best wall straight across Texas.
Isn't there a wall already though?
In certain parts.
Oh my god.
There's a fence in certain parts. There's a river in certain parts. There's barbed wire in certain parts. There's blockages almost everywhere. But what's happening, like during the Biden administration, the Texas government went down and put barbed wire across a bunch of channels and stuff. And the federal government said they have to remove it and open it back up.
Mm. Excuse me. Yep.
I see, buddy. But all right, your
lots
shit's
to think
still
about.
frozen, so we'll come back to this next week. Fucking
We'll talk
fix your
about
shit.
it some more, I guess.
All right, hepatitis. See you later, everybody.
Hasta la vista.